Hi guys, this is EBPMAN with Tablets for Me, and today we're going to do an unboxing and review of a new keyboard case from Logitech. It's a FabricSkin keyboard folio for the iPad Air. Alright, so let's go ahead and start by opening up the case. Now, the case is really well done. This is very similar to what you have with the Beats products, from where the actual box itself is kind of magnetic. It has a little magnet here and it opens up real nice. And here we have our keyboard folio. Now, a couple of things about the case before we actually go into it. First of all, it is a Bluetooth keyboard. It is, again, it's a very thin profile case, so it doesn't really add a lot of thickness or weight to your iPad Air, especially since, again, you have a very thin iPad. It is just zero point 0.7 inches thick and weighs 425 grams. Very, very light. So again, you're not going to add all this additional weight to your iPad Air. It has a keyboard, and let me just open it up here really quick. It is a fabric keyboard, and that's what's so unique about this keyboard. So there are no moving parts, there are no grooves. So if I bring this a little bit closer, you'll notice there is nowhere where something can get caught, hair or any kind of food. Anything here is not going to come into any of the crevices like you'd have in a traditional keyboard. It is also water repellent, so if water spills on the keyboard on either side, either on the keyboard itself or on the case, it's going to repel that and the water is going to bead away. So that's another nice feature of the actual case itself as well. And then the other thing about this case that is also pretty awesome is the fact that the battery life. Now you got to listen to this. This is pretty incredible based on what Logitech is saying. You will get off of a full charge off of this case up to 3 months of battery life. Again, I'll say that again. 3 months battery life for one single charge. Now, the averages, they're talking about it being something that you'll be using like 2 hours of typing. But still, even if you did 4 hours, even if you cut this down to 30 days worth of battery, to charge it only once and to get that kind of battery life is something that is unheard of. And also to have something that is really this thin. Now, also this case supports the auto lock feature, so it's going to be, it has that magnetic system, so that as you open and close the case, you're going to find that your iPad will turn on and off. So that's enough about the case. And what's in the box is you get your iPad case keyboard folio, an instruction guide, and then you have your USB charging cord here. We're going to go ahead and insert our iPad into it, and I'll give you a walkthrough as to how this fits and how it works. Alright, so now let's go ahead and insert the actual iPad into the case so you see how that works. Now, a couple things I'll highlight. You have the product serial number here, but here you have this little tab. This tab that you see right here is the area where that will kind of hide or extend the ability to depress and power on your iPad. So when you insert it, I always like inserting this part first so that your power button isn't doing one of these things. You don't want your power button to go like that. So insert it this way and then this way, and you'll see how I do that right now. So here I have the actual secure area where it snaps in, and I'm taking, again, that's my power button, and I'm taking it this way, aligning it there, and then as I'm coming down here, you'll notice what I'll do is I'll just push down once I'm here, and then it snaps in, just like that. That's all you do. Now, again, this has the auto wake feature, so my iPad was off, and when I open it, my iPad is now on. iPad is off, and now the iPad is on. So again, the iPad is off, and now the iPad is on. So it has the auto wake feature. Now, again, I was talking about how impressively thin this case is. So here I have a case that is a keyboard and a case all in one. How does it compare to some of the slim cases that we may have looked at the past? So here's another iPad Air. All right, here's an Air, and here is an Air with a keyboard. This is a slim keyboard that you'll find on this YouTube channel that I reviewed, and then here is the one that we just talked about. Let's look at them side by side. So this keyboard is slightly, you'll notice slightly wider, right? But again, I'll show you why it's a little bit wider. It's slightly taller, right? So I would say almost not quite an inch, but close to that on each side, right? But when we compare the actual thickness, you'll notice here's my keyboard case and here's my case without it. It even looks like almost like this one is actually thicker and it doesn't even have a keyboard. But again, that's just the type of material that we have here. On the back, you'll notice from a protection perspective, again, you look at, here's my finger, so you can see that this is the width of the keyboard, and notice here, almost the same width of the case with a keyboard. Without a keyboard, with a keyboard. So if I were to go and now look at this case, let me put this iPad Air to the side. Some things to highlight is that you have almost an inch worth of protection. So here I have my finger inside the case, and you notice almost an inch worth of protection of extra material going all the way around your case. So you have it here, and you have it here as well. So if you look at, this is where my finger is. See how that is right there? I can put it in there, and you got that much extra material that's protecting your iPad, and we're going to talk about why that's important in a second. You'll see that here as well. Now, the reason why it's important that you have that much material is if you were to, let's say, drop your iPad like this, or you were to dry pad your iPad like this, or like this, you have protection all the way around. Some of the other cases that we've looked at have bumpers on the corners. Well, this extra material serves as a bumper for your iPad. The other thing that you'll notice is that you have here, this little tab is actually a stylus holder. So you can actually put a stylus, and if you have one of those styluses that I've reviewed on my channel, like from Wacom, that have a pen and a stylus at the same time, you can have this here, especially if you're taking this to school or if you're using this in the office for work. You could have your stylus with you at all times, all included as if this was again, a paper folio. On the back, you'll notice that you have your cutout. So here you have your camera cutout, no problem there. You have access to all of your ports or points of access. So here you have your headphone jack, your microphone here is also available and accessible. And remember, I told you that that little tab that we have here, this little tab, and I'll put this in an angle, is what you use to turn on and off your iPad. This is an extension of that button that was there, and that's why it was so important to put it this way. You notice that you have that extra material here, and kind of with a little lip going up. And I like that it's actually at this side, it's kind of curved up a little bit, as you can see there. Let's see if it comes out. See how it's kind of curved up. I like it because if I have it down on a surface and something spills, this kind of serves as almost like a bumper to anything that spills this way. You have another neat feature of this is that obviously, as I mentioned, this is a Bluetooth keyboard, but there's a magnet here that connects with this area. So you know the traditional Apple cases have that clasp mechanism for the actual covers that kind of slam right here, that they go click and they cover. Well, this case actually leverages that. So as soon as I put this case here, the keyboard is going to turn on. Watch what happens. And I'm just going to do it slowly, and I'm going to hope that the video will pick up kind of the magnet. So I'm going to move it, and you're going to see how it's going to snap in by itself. I'm going to move it just a little bit. Watch. Okay, see that? We'll do it again and see how it turned on. Take it off again. And I'm just going to move it with my finger right here. Watch. See that? So now there's a magnet there that also turns on your keyboard automatically. And I haven't paired it yet, so it's going into pairing mode. But now what that means is that this is locked. Look at this. It's locked into position. I can move this. If I'm on the plane and I'm typing away, this isn't going anywhere. This is not going anywhere. So you have a really nice typing surface that you know it won't move because of that magnetic feature. Awesome, awesome case because of how well thought all those specific areas have been. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pair it with my iPad. I'll show you how you do that, and then we'll move from there. Okay, so my keyboard is in pairing mode. You can see that little light blinking. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into settings, and I'm going to go into Bluetooth. And notice that the keyboard appears there. See that FabricSkin keyboard appears. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on the Fabric, this keyboard, and I'm going to let it pair. And now it's connected. Notice that the light stopped flashing. So now let's try out the keyboard and see how it works. Alright, so now I'm just going to go ahead, and now that I've paired the keyboard, I'm just going to type. And I'm going to type in just a couple words just to show you how the keyboard is very responsive. And I'm not a very good typist, so I'm typing a little bit slow, so it's not in any way, shape, or form related to the performance of the keyboard. But you can see that it is very responsive. I type in, the text appears. And there we go. Period. The arrow keys work left and right. If I type text up and down, there are also several of the functions. You have command buttons here. You have function buttons here that would work with different controls that you see on your keyboard. I'm going to get a close-up of that keyboard really quick so you can see. So here are all the extra functions or commands. So obviously you can lock the screen. You can actually go to the internet. There's volume media controls, as you can see there, volume controls, and all of these are controlled by that function, option, or command. You'll also notice that this keyboard is very tactile. So if I touch it, you see how it goes down, and you can definitely feel that or see that you will get feedback as you're typing. And all in all, this is a great keyboard. Now, one of the things I will just warn you, this is a high-end keyboard. You're going to find this somewhere around the area of $100 for this type of keyboard. But based on the features that I've shown you and how thin profile this is, I think this would be a great gift. This would be a great add-on to someone who already has an iPad Air, or if you're treating yourself, you should really take a look at the Logitech FabricSkin keyboard, because once again, I think that the battery life is outstanding. I think that the form factor is great, and it's something that just adds almost no weight to your iPad. If you have any comments or questions about this video, leave them on the YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe, recommend this channel to your friends, and share this video. Thanks.